Hi, my name's Andrew Ward, and today I'd like to tell you about two major trends that are disrupting the telecoms industry and how they affect you as a service provider. First, running a voice network is getting increasingly complicated. Many moons ago, calls were manually switched by human operators, and while that was labor-intensive, it wasn't very hard to understand. But since then, every significant technological advance has added complexity to our networks. Even over the last few decades, you can see how the transition from in-band signaling to out-of-band signaling, and then the gradual introduction of voice over IP, has made things more complex at every stage. So while the advances in technology are good, they also make it harder and harder for the service provider to provide a consistent, high-quality service to the user. The second trend is that the market is becoming increasingly competitive. In the old days, an IOC or ILEC owned a geographic area, and within that area there wasn't much in the way of competition. And that all began to change with the introduction of CLECs in the 1990s, but it's voice over IP that has truly opened the floodgates. With a broadband connection on my desk, I can choose to use one of hundreds, if not thousands, of different service providers for my voice service, and they could be located anywhere in the country. As a result, perhaps not surprisingly, customers change service provider fairly frequently. To quote a recent BroadSoft survey, churn is a costly and pervasive issue. It's so bad that according to a recent financial report, Vonage's annual churn on consumer lines is 29% of users. So in any given year, Vonage loses 29% of its customers. And in order to grow, it needs to make new sales to replace all of those people, and that just gets it back to the starting line. So in this environment where it's hard to run a high-quality network and customers can easily move from one carrier to another, there are going to be some big winners and big losers. Without geographic boundaries, there's no reason why the best carriers, those with the best products, shouldn't dominate nationally or even internationally. So what's going to determine who wins and who loses? Winners will have great networks. Now, sure, great marketing and sales is also important to get you customers in the first place, but it's not going to keep them. In order to grow, you need to keep churn in check. And for that, you need a great product, a great network. So what do I mean by that? I mean a network where provisioning of new services is quick and smooth, so when a customer wants something, you can deliver it when they ask for it. I mean a network where there are few trouble tickets. The product will be easy to use and the quality will be high. And when there are problems, they'll be fixed quickly and permanently. And finally, in a great network, new features will be rolled out quickly to attract new customers and to prevent existing customers churning due to the promise of some bright, shiny feature at a competitor. If you could have a network like that, it would lead to happy customers who would refer others. You'd have an engaged and motivated team. You'd easily be able to attract new talent to your business, and all of these things combined would lead to growth in revenue and, most importantly, profit. So, how do we do that? In order to build this great network, we need a new approach. In my business, we apply the proven principles of lean manufacturing that started at Toyota and have revolutionized the manufacturing world and apply them to the voice service provider. These principles aren't just for manufacturers, but can be applied to many kinds of businesses, from local governments to healthcare providers to tech startups. So when we apply these principles to telecoms, we can create what I'm calling the lean network. That's fine, you say, but what exactly are these principles? So there are three core ideas behind the lean methodology. The first is quality. How do you deliver a high-quality product that has great value to the customer? Secondly, eliminating waste. How do you eliminate waste from your processes and your product so that your organization runs smoothly and efficiently? And finally, people. How do you develop a great team? We're going to look very briefly at these three. First, quality. So in Lean, we obsess about quality. Imagine for a moment a production line making a car at Toyota. Did you know that any individual operator working on that line can push a button to stop the entire line if they receive a bad part? So The entire line will grind to a halt until the quality problem is addressed. That's what we mean when we talk about a quality obsession. But what does that mean in practice? So in Lean, you build quality into the product at every step, whether that's pre-testing the customer's IP network to ensure the bandwidth is sufficient, or validating provisioning requests before you implement them, or designing a network to minimize latency. You want to focus on quality at every stage of designing the product and service you provide to your customers. And if there's a problem, you want to catch it immediately, ideally before the customer even notices. And if a problem does reach the field, you don't just want to fix it, you want to deeply investigate until you truly understand the root cause, the flaw in your process that allowed that problem to occur, so you can not only fix this problem, but prevent the problem and similar problems from happening again in the future. So secondly, we look at eliminating waste. In a lot of companies, particularly small or new businesses, we rely on each employee to know how to do something. There's some kind of shared memory in order of how to do this kind of task, and generally we get it done more or less right. But in order to truly eliminate waste, you need first to eliminate variation, because if two people do the same task in two different ways, one of them must be doing it better. So why not have everyone do it the best way? And we do that with standardized processes or checklists. And then you can focus the energies of the team on figuring out how to improve those processes, how to eliminate unnecessary steps, how to improve the quality. And this focus on continuous improvement, or Kaizen in Japanese, leads us on to our third principle, which is developing a great team. In Lean, we recognize that the individual who does a task is the expert in a task, not management, the person who does it. And so we give ownership of the roles, ownership of the processes, to the individuals working on the task. In this way, we can redirect the creativity and energy of the team, so instead of spending their time trying to remember how to do something, they now spend their creative energy figuring out how to do it better. So that's a brief introduction to the concept of the Lean network. If you focus on delivering quality, on delivering great value to your customers without waste, you'll get happy customers, leading to low churn, higher margins, and increases in revenue and profit. And that's how you can be one of the winners in this competitive landscape. If you want to read more about the Lean network and how you can begin to apply these principles to your own organization, please check out my website at www.awardconsulting.net. Thank you.